Welcome to another episode of Late Night Love, where we dive deep into the real, raw, and sometimes ridiculous sides of life, love, and relationships. And life, we often talk about work, but it does cover a wider range than that. But we do cover work a lot.
Yes.
Even though we should make sure we do expand that. But we are covered deep in work today. And we want to start by first asking you to go ahead and like, share, subscribe, comment. And yeah, one of these days, one of us will get to come responding to your comments. That will happen. I swear. It will.
Where are they?
I mean, they're on YouTube.
Oh, I can do that.
Yes, I know. You think like it's this big complicated thing. I'll set you up in the living room. So all you have to do is turn on the TV and.
No, that's okay. I can get them on my computer.
All right, then.
Yeah.
We'll set you up.
No problem.
We'll set you up so you can reply to comments. And some you might want to leave to me, but
Okay.
But a lot of them you can reply to. Okay, but you can also find us at latenightLove.us. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, all the various things. But like, subscribing, and sharing, and send us your emails, your questions, your comments, your suggestions, etc. to love@latenightLove.us. And we're talking value tonight at work, right? We've got some discussions on value. So we're gonna hear a guy from a marketing and management expert talk about Henry Ford for a second. So let's get back to that.
Ford, he got some consultants in, and they said, "You seem to have a pretty well-run shop, Mr. Ford, but we don't quite get one thing. There's a guy down the end of the corridor who seems to sit around all day with his feet on the desk, but you pay him sort of $70,000 a year." And Henry Ford replied, "Yeah, that's absolutely right. But the thing is, 2 years ago, that man had an idea that saved me $5 million, and at the time, his feet were exactly where they are now." Now, that's an appreciation of uneven value creation.
And so that's, when you ask, why does Bob not have to do very much? It's because when he does do something, it's worth a whole heck of a lot of money.
Yeah.
And that's the things we don't see as regular employees,
Mm-hmm.
right? We don't see these things, or we choose to ignore them.
It's bothering you, isn't it?
Yes, there's another fly in here. I did my job, man. I don't know. There's like a fly problem all across the city these days. There's flies at my mother's house. I was talking to some of my coworkers. Anyway, and they're having flies issues. It's not just us.
Really? Oh, okay.
It's like the whole world, the whole city is having fly problems. But
vexing.
Yeah,
it's a plague.
There's a plague of flies around the city. It's insane. So, when we talk about the value of a job, the value of your job is, you have to understand what that person's job actually is. And not everybody who has the same role has the same job,
Mm-hmm.
And different people create value in different ways. And so it's very difficult for us sitting back, watching from a distance, to judge how much somebody else should be made. Even sitting next to the person, you may not know how much that person does or doesn't, how much money that person does or doesn't make, or more importantly, how much that person does or doesn't cost the company.
Mm-hmm.
If this person never makes any mistakes, but they're a little bit slower, this guy's faster, but makes, mistakes all the time, who's more valuable? Interesting question.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe at the end of the day, the value's the same. You don't have to fix any of this guy's mistakes, but the extra time he takes, maybe it balances out. Maybe you guys do deserve the same amount. It's unlikely. Generally speaking, it takes more time to fix a mistake than to slow down and do it right the first time. Bad customer experience, all this various things. But the point I'm trying to make is it's very difficult to judge as the.
Oh, I 100% agree with you. I mean, you don't know what goes on behind closed doors at all.
Yeah. Why does Bob and Jane get to sit in their office with their feet on the desk? Because they're paid to think. That's what they're doing. They're paid to think.
They do.
And if they come up with an idea that saves millions of dollars once every couple of years, then they've paid for themselves. And you don't understand that because you don't understand what their job actually is. Their job is to take data in, take data in, and then come up with a solution to a problem people may not even know they had. And there are people who are paid to think. So just as we go through, our discussions about work,
That actually comes up a lot. How come this
yeah.
person? In fact, it's going to come up again.
Yeah. How come this person makes more money than other people? Because they see the world from a different perspective than other people. That's actually quite valuable. So, all right. What are we going to start off with today?
Well, here's a good one.
Okay.
I feel I'm there to make my manager look good. I think I deserve more.
Well, yes, you're there to make your manager look good.
You really are.
Your manager's there to make you guys, to create the conditions where you guys can make him look good. There's a flip side of that. Is he supposed to be there to cover for you when mistakes happen, when things go wrong? That's the relationship, right? That's the mutual care, is you make him look good. And then when things don't look good, he covers. And you guys, by making him look good, which you don't understand, what a lot of people don't understand, by making your boss look good, you guys look good. His team is performing. Maybe he gets credit for creating the conditions that his team can perform in, but you guys still have to do the performing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can have the greatest coach in the world, but the players still have to go out and play. So you do look good. When your manager look good, so do you.
So do you. You really do.
But
everybody knows what's what, especially the higher ups.
But here's the thing. If you want, the biggest promotions will come from changing jobs, not from within, not from moving up the corporate ladder, so to speak. Your biggest promotions in life will come from finding a different job. So take what you've learned, understand how your manager looks good. Maybe he's doing something right. If you guys are looking good, making him look good, he's doing something right. It's got you guys motivated enough to keep working. So maybe learn something and take that to someplace else where what you feel your value will be appreciated. And sometimes it's a step back to take a step forward. You got to take a step back to make a couple step forwards. It's okay. But as we just talked about, every team member theoretically should be there to make everybody else look good. And in the end, y'all look good. That's how you be a good team member. Now, if you are a solopreneur, right, you're out working for yourself, then that's how you solve that problem. But as long as you're a member of a team, yes, your job is to make other people look good. And I work
coworkers too.
And we work in media production. Those of us who work on the back end, we do all the pre-production work, all the production work, all everything. It's so the people, when they sit down to look good, so your talent looks good. Your job is to make the talent look good. And guess who gets all the credit? It's the talent does. Except they don't. The people who know, hey, that show routinely gets off on time, on schedule, on budget. They accomplish their goal routinely. So who runs that show? They don't ask the talent. They know the talent doesn't run the show unless the talent happens to run the show. But they look for who's the producer, who's the director, who's doing the technical work, all the various other things, who does the editing. The people who know, that's what they look for. So by making your talent look good, look at it that way, making the talent look good, you're making you look good, because people can see that his team knows what they're doing. So
everybody knows.
Everybody knows. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is exactly what I didn't know you were going to have that clip you just did. How do lazy, bare minimum workers stay permanent for 20 plus years while temps bust their ass for scraps?
Because you only see part of what they do. Generally speaking, if they're lazy, bare minimum workers, then you're not seeing what their real work is. They come out to give a hand in the warehouse or whatever it is to do. It's not their main job. Their main job is something else. You just don't understand it. And the reason temp workers bust their ass for scraps is because that's the role they're in. So I have someone who's worked as a temp worker a lot. Right? I actually kind of liked working as a temp worker. You can go somewhere. You don't like the conditions. You just say, I want a different assignment. Let's go take a different assignment. If you're good, you're wanted. It's not a big deal. Now, if you're a crappy worker, you can't do that. But I never had that problem. Someone else would always take me. They'd offer me more money to not leave. All kinds of stuff would happen. But it's not the money. You guys suck. It's the condition. Sometimes it's a week, sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's a whole. It's it's a summer season. You're working in the summer, or a winter season, or whatever it is, and the job can't support full time. Now, their full time workers do get pulled from their part time from the staff when they do need to fill a hole. They generally try to fill it from the temp staff, but nothing's guaranteed. But you have the power to walk away and on a moment's notice, which you do anyway, chase a better opportunity. You've made no long-term commitment to them. They've made none to you. It's a very immediately transactional experience. There's nothing wrong with it. So how do lazy workers? Because they've done something and you don't know their full job. This is one of those things where it's important to just worry about yourself. You really want to be happy at your job. Don't worry about everybody else. Stop worrying about what Bob and Susie are doing. It doesn't matter. Worry about what you're doing.
I think that's good advice.
Yeah. And if you want to be seen more, well, then you've got to be seen more. Be willing to take on tougher assignments. That's how people get in positions to be lazy. What you call lazy is they're willing to take on the tough assignments. So when I have something that's unpleasant that needs to be done, I know Bob and Susie will do it. And they won't complain about it. They're just going to do it. And that has a value. While everybody else, the hard workers, they're going to complain about having to go clean up somebody else's mess. They're going to piss and moan and whine about it. Bob and Susie won't.
No.
You don't know how valuable that is to a boss, to a manager, to a company, is people who will just do what you've been asked and not complain and whine about it.
Yeah. That's a big.
Yeah. I know he's lazy on day to day, but when I need him, they're there. The rest of you are going to whine and moan and complain, and I got to spend 2 hours sitting there explaining to you. No, Bob and Susie will do it. So maybe they won't do it fast, but they're going to do it. But maybe they do it fast. Maybe Bob and Susie, when it's game time, they turn up. They turn on. Who knows? There's lots of reasons, but don't focus on them. Focus on you. Be the best you can be. It's better for you. Forget about being better for your employer. It's better for you to have those habits, so when your opportunities do show up, you are prepared. Luck is preparation mated with opportunity, and doing your best on every single day for its own sake. It's about you. It's not about nobody else. Why would you do any different? Some days you're better than others. It's fine. But you do the best you can on any given day. It builds habits. So when it's time, when game time does come, when your opportunity does present itself, you are in position and your habits are built. You're not having to change habits. You haven't developed lazy habits because you're uninspired at work. It's understandable to be uninspired at work and to develop lazy habits. It's completely understandable. Every single one of us have done it. There's a handful that probably haven't, but for the most part, anybody who's listening to this has done it. You've gotten into a lazy habit at work because you're uninspired or depressed or whatever the reasons are legitimate, right? We're not being down on you for being human, but we are saying the best thing to do is to do the best you can because it's best for you. Forget being best for your employer. That's just a side benefit. It's best for you.
All the way around. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
But being best for your employer and best for your career is a side benefit for it being best for you.
Best for your emotional well-being.
If nothing else. Okay.
Yeah. Coworker threatened me. HR said he was singing songs.
Was he doing both?
Could have been doing both now, couldn't he?
And it's called plausible deniability.
Uh-huh.
If someone knows how to play the game. The question becomes, how threat is the real threat? Is it a real threat, or is someone just
blowing smoke
being a bullying behavior?
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of the question you have to try and decipher. Because if it's a genuine threat, you have options beyond your workplace. But if you're genuinely concerned, why would you want to work there? And if they're not going to take it seriously, your option is to find a different job.
Yeah.
If possible. And if not possible, then it's time to lawyer up. But the best solution with these kind of things are always just to find a better place to work. Because even if you lawyer up, even if you get this problem solved to your satisfaction, you're just going to have another one because they're not well run.
Yeah.
And so
obviously not.
So your long-term solution is clearly to find someplace better. But your short-term solutions could be, all right, this guy is just bullying behavior, blowing smoke. You're not, you don't really worry about it. If it's genuine, then you do have legal options, a number of them, and you should take those. But your best solution, again, is take care of yourself and, if possible, find a better job. Mm-hmm. Okay.
A boss saw me walk out of the HR office and now is acting strange.
Well, those things are not necessarily, related. Bosses have lots of stresses from lots of places. It could be from anywhere. You're coming out of HR. You've got a single spot on your mind. So when you see you, and then you notice that he's acting strange, what you consider acting strange, you may just be noticing behaviors that you never noticed before because you weren't hyper vigilant of them.
Yeah.
So this is one of these things. As best you can, you have rolled your dice. The die have been cast. There's nothing you can do at this point other than do what you were going to do anyway. So just do what you're going to do anyway. This is one of those things where it goes back to, if you just do the best you can do on any given day and let the chips fall where they may, your life generally is pretty good. Not always. Life ain't fair. So, things aren't going to go your way when they should sometimes. And sometimes when things shouldn't go your way, they will. And blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. The law of averages. I mean, over a lifetime, things are not bad. They average out pretty good,
If you do your part. Now, if you just sit around and have law of averages work out in your favor,
no,
it's not going to work.
You have to prepare.
You've got to do your part in that.
Yeah.
But they may not be connected, and so it's best to not see things that may not be there.
Okay.
My suggestion is you might be being hyper vigilant.
You think they are?
I don't know.
Okay.
But that's how I would, in my own mind, I'm being hyper vigilant. I'm probably seeing things that may or may not be related.
Okay.
And so until it's one of those things. Sure.
I mean, I could see how they would connect the dots.
Very human.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the very thing. You're thinking about this, and now all of a sudden your boss is acting strange. You don't know what else your boss may not even hit your boss's desk yet, right? It may never hit your boss's desk. But now you've got this whole scenario built up in your head, that you've got no proof to back it up on. And he says, he saw me walk out of the HR's office. So he doesn't know if you were talking about him or somebody else, or maybe you got some medical issue that only HR, whatever you discussed may not ever hit his desk. And so don't impose until there's nothing to worry about. It's one of those things you try not to worry. Don't create problems. on this one is my thing.
Okay.
Just do your best to act as routinely and as
Do your
professional.
job. Yeah.
You can't stop you from thinking about it because it's already there. And
It's already there.
telling you not to think about it is like telling someone to not think of an elephant. So just
I see an elephant.
exactly. You can't help it. So just try not to exaggerate something in your head because it's probably not it. It's probably they've got lots of other things than your short visit to HR to worry about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Struggling to help my younger brother with school while working full time.
You're just doing the best you can do. In fact, you're probably doing more than you are morally required. So the fact that you are trying to help at all is the victory. That's the victory. You don't have to be perfect. He doesn't have to get 100%.
No.
All you guys have to do is try. The fact that you're trying means you're the greatest brother in the world.
You really are.
Yeah, you and your brother are so far ahead of a lot of people. You guys are both you're working for time. You're trying to help him with his schoolwork while you're working full time. He has the support and love he needs. Obviously, something went right in your life where you're making proper choices that not only help yourself in teaching yourself discipline and how to do things for someone, for a cause and people, beyond yourself. You're helping your brother. You're sacrificing exhaustion, right? You're being exhausted to help your little brother.
He's in high school. The younger brother is in high school. And he kind of feels with the studies, he's trying to help him as much as he can with the homework,
All you can do is all you can do. But what your brother's going to appreciate is that you were there at all.
Yeah.
That means more than a B going to an A. Mm-hmm. It's not relevant when it comes to what your brother is going to. My brother was there for me when I needed him. And you're helping him. And you're also showing him an example, So congratulations. It doesn't matter if you're struggling. What matters is that you're doing. Because that's not struggling. Maybe you've created a too high of a goal. What are you comparing it to? You comparing it to some utopia? Or are you comparing it to the reality that you guys are facing? So you're struggling, you're tired, you're exhausted. I get all that, but you're still doing it. Mm. So I'd reframe it. You guys you are succeeding in helping your brother with his schoolwork while you are working full time. Congratulations. Is it a struggle? Sure. But you are doing it. Congratulations. So I am going to rephrase that. You are succeeding in helping your younger brother with his schoolwork while you are working full time. And it's tiring. Yes, it is. But you're doing it because it's worth it. And you know it. So there you go. Congratulations. Okay.
Work just feels like the same thing every day.
Yeah. And lots of jobs it does. It is the same thing every day.
Yeah, we know. Yeah.
On the 15th I do this, on the 28th I do this, on the 7th I do this,
December 31st, this has to all be done.
Yeah. Yes. And you rinse and repeat it the next month. Or, Tuesday I do this, Thursday I do this, Wednesday. Welcome to the world of work.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you didn't do that, it'd be called art,
Ooh, very good. That's a wonderful analogy right there. I like that.
So try to find the things in your work that you enjoy. Focus on those, and you try to help yourself understand that everything else provides those periods of time.
You know what? My life is fairly routine, but I shake things up, every now and again. I'll do some things start doing it in a different order.
Hey man, it's from someone who's
Just playing little games. How fast can I get this done? Ready, set, go. Data entry, is what and I try that with data entry. See how fast I can get it done,
about a quarter of my job is routine. Same thing, right? I do a handful of things. It's the same thing, mundane, boring stuff. The other stuff is absolute total chaos. I never know what I am dealing with on any given day. It's all within a certain framework, but the specifics of it, who the hell knows? So there are periods of times where I would prefer, can I just have a calm week? Just a week where I have routine, where I don't have to respond chaotically to half the world. Please? No, it never happens. So it is what it is. Now, I personally kind of enjoy the challenge.
Yeah.
I kind of thrive on it a little bit, but I get tired like everybody else. That itself can become, it's the same thing every day, and you get tired of it.
Yeah.
And you need a break. So I feel you, but at the same thing, it's what it is. It's, I understand the emotions behind it. It's right. It's the work rut. There's 1,000 ways we've been describing this especially in the last 100 years of this feeling of just, the same mundane routine over and over and over again. But there's also some peace in that, I suspect. It's better than struggling for survival every day.
Yeah. You're not standing out there waiting, praying and hoping it's going to rain,
I mean, it is its own struggle for survival. We just don't view it that way because our survival isn't so immediate in today's modern world. I mean, in the past, 200 years ago, survival was an immediate thing. You either were successful on your hunting or you were going starving that day, that kind of thing. It wasn't that long ago in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
I mean, it took humanity 10,000 years to learn how to control fire, right? And we've gone from essentially barely more than mud huts and caves to civilization in a relatively short period of time. 2,000 years. And most of that, we were still using horses and dragging stuff around. And I mean, we've only had electricity and mechanical leverage for a couple hundred years at best. We've had mechanical leverage, right? Age of Sail. You can figure mechanical leverage. Age of Sail was kind of its peak. But everything still had to be moved around with, horsepower and manpower.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The modern world is insanely new. And now we've got AI and blasting off to the stars. We barely learned how to fly 100 years ago. It took us less time to go from learning how to fly to flying into space than it did from learning how to control fire to boil a pot of water. I'm just saying. Anyway, I don't know. We went off on a
That was a little tangent there.
But because there's no answer to this question, it's just yes, we feel you. It does feel the same.
It does feel like that a lot of times.
So try to find the parts of your job that you enjoy. Focus on those.
Yeah.
And understand that the other parts, the more mundane parts, are what allows the fun part to happen. And if you don't have that fun part, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't find accounting fun, but accountants do.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe you're just in the wrong line of work, and maybe ultimately that's your long-term goal, is to find something else to do. But in the short term, find what joy you can.
Try.
or just accept that that mundane life is going to allow you to have the rich post-work life. You're going to have interesting hobbies and interesting friends and travel or whatever that is, and you make that compromise. You get a boring work life for an exciting and full post-work life. If it pays well enough, you can make that calculation, but it's got to pay fairly well to do that.
Yes.
Yeah. So, okay.
What is a work policy that makes 100% total sense on paper but doesn't work in practice?
None. Because no policy makes 100% sense all the time. That's why policies are guidelines rather than hard, stone rules. Because there are times when you should break policy because it's the proper thing to do. So the answer is there's not. I mean, I can't think of one that makes a whole 100% sense on paper. Most policies are created to solve an immediate problem. Bob did something stupid, so we have to prevent people from doing something stupid like Bob did. And so you create a goofy policy. That's how most policies get created.
They do. I know.
and they don't make 100% sense on paper because Bob doesn't make 100% sense. So there's no way a policy created to stop future Bobs is going to make sense. So because none of them are going to work, Bob's still going to be a moron. He's still going to crash the forklift into the pole because he's Bob. So
I was a safety coordinator. I had this one guy. He always insisted on driving the forklift with his left foot just out of there. And he'd catch a box every now and then and have to go see the doctor. And then, you know how long it took me to get him to put his foot inside the forklift?
Oh, you know how we do that?
Thing?
You do it again, you're no longer on the forklift. And if you're a forklift driver, that means you're no longer employed because you can't follow basic safety. Yeah, we were very strict on forklifts, especially after my boss smashed the rolling door with it. That one wasn't me, man. I never did anything. I never broke anything on a forklift. I was a good, conscientious forklift driver because I did not want to be responsible for hurting nobody.
I hear you. Me too. I've been on a forklift.
I didn't care about
forklift.
I didn't care about stuff. I was not hurting nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was
because the thing literally weighs what, half a ton or something.
Well,
like
whatever
that?
you got, it's got to weigh more than whatever you're picking up. So yeah. So anyway. So there isn't one. There's no policy makes 100% sense on paper, and lots of stuff works or doesn't. Whether something works in practice or not is very difficult to see because most of the time you don't need the policy in the first place because the policy is written to prevent morons, not written to actually be a productive. You know what I'm saying? They're not really written in a comprehensive way. Most policies are just kind of slapped together to theoretically solve a problem that it doesn't really solve. So I can't think of one that would make 100% sense on paper, let alone one that makes sense on paper and doesn't work in practice. Happens lots of times. The laws of unintended consequences. Oh man, those are infamous. There's too many to list. From making people clock in on time or before it's never ending. So anyway, work may feel like the same grind every day, but talking about it reminds us we're not alone in the struggle. Have a good night. Please remember to love everybody.
Good night.